Okay. I think we might want to enlarge the screen a bit. What screen is that? Is it yep, so we can. The screen is not. Yeah, 항상 화면을 보이네요. We need press play. Oh, I'm not sure. How can something wrong? Password. Password the screen. The video. Is that real preview or? I think we need to actually have a look at. Can you just fast forward to this one? No. This one is the. Okay, we're good. Okay, I think we're live. Yeah. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Just to do a check, can everybody hear me on the live chat? If somebody could say yes on the chat, that would be great.
Is there some delay? So I think.
Okay, if anybody can hear me on the chat, if they could just type, we can hear you, that would be great, just to do a sound check, please. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Sarah. So good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. This is Phil Zamani from Aergo. First of all, welcome to our first live AMA. I'd like to introduce the participants today. So I'll start with Han on my left. Han is the CTO, Chief Technology Officer of Aergo.
Hi, I'm Han. I stay in here in Korea, Bunda. But this is our R&D lab. So we are working with 30 and 40 engineers here. So and nice to see you.
Good. And then last but not least, we have Won-Beom Kim, who's the founder and chief executive officer of Blocko, our strategic technology partner. Want to say hello?
Hi, nice to meet you guys. My name is Won, and I'm glad to be involved in this project with all those great gentlemen.
Very good. Well, thanks for taking time with us, and thanks for the community for dialing in. So we're very excited today. We have some exciting news, and we'll try and share as much as possible with the audience. So just from a logistics perspective, we will cover the call in 1 hour. I'll briefly give an update on the project, on what's been happening here in Seoul, Korea, some exciting news, and then we'll go through some of the Telegram questions that some of you submitted earlier in the last 24 hours, and then we'll open it up to a live AMA question and answer session. I must warn everyone, though, that nothing we say today should be construed as advice for investments or holding tokens. But as always, we will share as much information as we can with our community about our project. So with that in mind, let me start by saying a few things. So as Han said, we are here in Seoul, Korea. This is the birthplace of Aergo. It's the birthplace of the technology behind Aergo by our strategic partner, Blocko. So I'm very excited because not only do I have Han with me and Won-Beom, I'm surrounded by some of the best engineers in the industry who are busy developing and testing what you will all know as Blocko mainnet. So with that in mind, why are we here? Why are we in Seoul? So last week we had a very exciting event called The Economy. The Economy is a great crypto show held here in Seoul by the team. It's one of the best shows I go to because we have developers, customers, as well as the usual crypto crowd. And we took the opportunity to update the market on some exciting news about Aergo. Specifically, I explained in 10 minutes really what Aergo is all about. What is the market we're going after? What are the customers that we want to pursue? What kind of partners we want? What kind of DApps is Aergo for? And we did this here in Seoul because this is the birthplace of Aergo. We also announced some exciting news which we'll go into today, and some of them we can share with you. Some of this will be held back for a major launch party and announcement that we'll make on the 17th. Specifically, the mainnet, or the incubation of mainnet, starts the 15th of this month here in Seoul, and we'll be announcing some news around mainnet to press and partners and stakeholders at an event here in Seoul as well. But we have lots more going on and lots more to announce. Some of it we'll share today. Some of this will be held back until the 17th. So with that in mind, let me start by going through the first few questions, and we'll do this interactively as well. So I'll read the question, and then I'll pass over to either Han or Won, or I'll take the question myself.
Okay.
So the first question is, probably for me, if we are 3 years down the line, how would you like to measure our success? What would you like to have achieved with Aergo? It's very simple. This is probably the most important question. And success for us means three things. Number one, our technology is adopted by developers. Note I said developers first, because the key to a platform is the developers use the technology to help build new products and services. As part of that, attracting great partners to build a large ecosystem. So this is a self-sustaining ecosystem because we are building the platform like Linux. We're building this as an open platform for developers, partners, and businesses to create something special by using the best of distributed ledger technology here. And last but not least, we would like to see customer adoption. Customer adoption means people using the technology for their business, whether they're consumer companies or business customers. But it also means for partners like Blocko and others who can adopt this technology to help them move their markets forward, move their customers forward. So really that's, in a nutshell, what success looks like.
I'm going to translate this. There are a lot of Korean speakers.
Oh, very good. I can't do that once. I'm glad I have you on the call.
그래서 지금 첫 번째 질문, 저희가 어제부터 그 텔레그램 채널을 통해서 그 아르고에 관련된 이제 질문들, 저희가 오늘 이제 AMA 질문을 몇 개 미리 이제 수집을 했어요. 그 중에서 이제 사람들이 관심을 많이 가지는 방법 위주로 먼저 설명을 이제 드릴 텐데, 첫 번째 질문이 이제 저희가 3년 동안 또는 3년 후에 뭐 저희 성공을 본다면은 이제 어떻게 그 설명할 건가? 이제 아르고의 성공이 이제 뭘 의미하는가에 대한 그런 의미라고 보시면 될 것 같고요. 이제 필 자만이 이제 아르고 CEO가 이제 저랑 어떻게 보면 같은 생각을 가지고 있는데요. 기술이라는 게 결국 그 누군가에 의해서 어답션이 안 되면 의미가 없는 거잖아요. 그런데 이제 진짜 개발자들, 진짜 개발 프로젝트를 위해서 아르고가 사용됐으면 좋겠고, 어떻게 보면 그렇게 그 단순히 뭐 크립토 시장뿐만이 아니라 보편적인 기술로서 이게 오픈소스 그리고 이제 실제 스타트업들, 다양한 개발자들이 이제 기술을 사용했으면 하는 게 저희 바람이고, 이제 그걸 어떻게 보면 현실로 만들기 위해서 노력할 거라는 이제 그런 말씀이라고 보시면 될 것 같습니다.
Thank you, Won-Beom. So I'll pick another question, which is quite a good question. This relates to one of our new partners called Satoshi Pay, a cool company based in Berlin who has built a payment gateway for microservices and micropayments on blockchain. And the question is, will Satoshi Pay, the partnership, provide Aergo with a fiat gateway, or will Satoshi Pay move away from their existing platform Stellar to using Aergo? I think you're probably the best person.
I met with the CEO of the Satoshi Pay. He is a really good guy, and they already
came here, didn't he?
Yeah, he came here and make some demo, and it is very cool stuff about the cryptocurrency gateway. So they want to support both Stellar and Aergo both, and maybe someday they will choose the Aergo only, but now I think they will both support the Stellar and Aergo project. Yeah.
네, 방금 질문은 이제 저희가 아르고가 파트너십을 맺은 업체 중에 이제 최근에 그 베를린 소재의 사토시페이라는 업체가 있는데요. 이게 현재는 이제 그 스텔라 기반으로 그 앱들이 마이크로 페이먼트를 할 수 있도록 도와주는 이제 그런 업체인데요. 최근에 이제 아르고와 파트너십을 맺으면서 이제 아르고도 지원하기로 이제 그렇게 결정을 했습니다. 근데 이제 스텔라에서 아르고로 그 지원을 바꿀 거냐 이런 질문이었는데. 그 답은 이제 사토시페이 자체가 멀티 플랫폼, 멀티 커런시를 지원하면서 좀 고명적인 플랫폼을 지원하기 때문에 이제 뭐 언젠가는 아르고가 그러면은 진짜 도미넌트한 플랫폼이 돼서 아르고만 지원하게 될 수도 있긴 하겠지만은 이제 그 당분간은 일단 좀 짧은 미래에는 이제 아르고까지 같이 지원을 하면서 사토시페이 기반으로 이제 아르고를 이제 기업들이 사용할 수 있도록 저희가 그러면 지원을 할 예정이고요. 이게 사실 사토시페이가 아르고와 연계가 되는 게 의미가 있는 가장 큰 이유 중 하나는 뭐 여기 있는 분들 중에서 이제 DF들을 사용하신 분들도 있고, 뭐 아니면은 뭐 그냥 코인 투자만 하신 분들도 있겠지만은 이제 DF들 사용이라는 게 사실 어떻게 보면은 앱들 사용이랑 좀 많이 달라요. 기본적으로 쓰기 위해서 코인을 지불해야 되고, 뭐, 거래소 가입도 해야 되고, 그냥 간단한 일을 하기 위해서 되게 복잡한 일을 해야 되는데, 어쩌면은 주객이 좀 전도되는 격이죠. 근데 서토시페이 같은 이제 그런 마이크로 페이먼트 업체를 통하게 되면은, 서토시페이가 이제 어쩌면은 연계를 하고 있는 신용카드를 통해서 아르고를 이제 곧바로 유저들이 구매를 할 수 있게 돼요. 예, 그게 뭘 의미하냐면은 아르고 기반으로 만들어진 이런 D앱들이 어떻게 보면은 현재 앱스토어에 올라가 있는 뭐 애플이든 구글 플레이스토어든 그런 앱들이 인앱 퍼체스 되게 쉽게 하잖아요. 버튼 하나만 누르면 바로 이제 내 신용카드에 돈이 빠져나가고 그게 애플이나 구글로 가게 되는데 어쩌면은 그 똑같은 개발자 그리고 똑같은 사용자 경험을 제공해주면서 아르고가 좀 더 이제 보편적으로 DF 시장에서 사용이 될 수 있다는 것을 의미하기 때문에 저희는 이제 이 파트너십을 굉장히 중요하게 생각을 하고 있고 현재 이제 그 블로코 유럽 그 랩에서 관련된 인터로게이션 작업을 진행하고 있습니다.
To translate to English, he also said that about the partnership between the Aergo and Satoshi Pay will make a more impact to the real market because they will provide some more good interface to the real customers and the retail investors. So it will be very effective partnership between them.
Yeah, everything is about customer and developer experience. And we are trying to normalize the experience by bringing the apps, the crypto experience to on par with what their customers and developers are used to every day. For example, on iOS or Android, you never worry about going to exchange or how to charge your account to pay for simple stuff. Satoshi Pay integration is going to enable us a whole lot of new ways for the regular users to access the apps. And it's going to be a huge game changer for Aergo as well.
Somewhere in the friction. In fact, that brings me on to two questions that, again, I'll direct to Hun, and I'll combine them. The first question was, why didn't we just do an upgrade, or why didn't Blocko just do an upgrade to CoinStack and gradually move people to Aergo versus building a completely clean room implementation? And second is, what are we providing to developers, for example, on Ethereum, to allow them to move, or who use Solidity to move towards an Aergo chain? What are the dev tools?
Yeah, normally it is very difficult to move some other platform to the new platform. Yeah, normally in database there is some export and import tool to support that program, but technically until now there is nothing about that kind of thing. So in case of there's two questions, right? So from the CoinStack to Aergo, we support the backward compatibility for the smart contract languages. Yeah, it's very, very similar, and we upgrade it. So the old version smart contract will run on the Aergo, but the SDK is changed, so they had to link a new library and slightly change the apps.
Yeah, so Han and I worked on a relational database for years, and one of the areas where we focused on was migration. And what we discovered quickly was that migration, although even between databases that support similar capabilities, it's not as cheap or easy as people think. What is very important is the data model compatibility, and with the right SDK support, it is actually possible to migrate between different platforms. But in any case, their development tool support and ease of development is more important than just brain that one-stop migration. Because at some point or another, you will hit that spot where things doesn't translate well. So in many cases, migration itself is a development work on itself. Their efficiency of development and their ease of development is a much more important thing that we consider and take seriously.
Your next challenge is to translate that in Korea.
Yeah.
그래서 방금 나왔던 질문 중 하나가 이제 현재 뭐 코인스택만이 아니라 이제 블로코에서는 코인스택이라고 하는 프라이빗 블록체인 기술을 제공을 하고 있거든요. 현재 이제 국내 KRX 신한은행, 현대카드, 삼성카드, 굉장히 많은 이제 여러분들이 이름을 들어봤을 것 같은 다양한 이제 그 회사들에서 이미 블로코의 코인스택 기술을 이제 사용을 하고 있어요. 이제 저희가 어쩌면 아르고라고 하는 이제 새로운 어쩌면 기술을 만들었는데 어쩌면 이제 저희 기존 고객들 그리고 기존 제품을 사용했던 그런 개발자들이 이런 새로운 기술을 받아들이기 위해서는 어떤 마이그레이션을 하는 작업이 필요한데 이제 저희가 그걸 어떻게 준비했냐 그러면 이런 질문이라고 보시면 될 것 같은데요. 사실 마이그레이션이라는 게 생각보다 쉽지도 않고 보통 저렴하지도 않은 경우가 많이 있어요. 아예 이제 재개발을 하는 게 이제 쉬운 경우도 있고, 근데 이제 저희 같은 경우는 주로 개발 편의성 그리고 데이터 모델 그리고 스마트 컨트랙트 언어 등 어쩌면 그 백워드 컴패티빌리티라고 이야기하는 하이 호환성에 집중을 해서 어떤 그런 개발 비용이나 시간이 단축될 수 있도록 이제 많은 노력을 이제 기했고, 사실 이제 어쩌면은 앞으로 또 많은 프로젝트들이 아르고를 사용하면서 이런 마이그레이션 니즈는 점점 줄어들 것으로 생각을 하고 있습니다.
I'd like to add something actually, because there's a good question about why we wrote the code as a clean room implementation, and it's worth explaining this because we did explain it to the audience in the economy. If you want to build an open platform, an open source platform, there's certain models you need to use. A clean room implementation means you look at all the code from the beginning. You review the code and make sure it can be released to the community under the licensing models that developers like, but also that the code is very well written. So we spend a lot of time thinking about the architecture to make this a true platform. What people don't realize, whilst there are thousands of projects on blockchain, there's probably about 60 to 65 platforms that are blockchain. Most of them are derivatives of Ethereum or of Hyperledger. There's in fact less than 10 real enterprise platforms and probably only 3 that were built from the ground up. One of them is Aergo. So Aergo's technology has been built from the ground up to be clean, open, and relevant really here. So this is very important because this will help us longer term to attract the right kind of developers and customers to a free, open source based platform, because we want to make this generic and open to everybody to use. So we should probably take the next question, which is a good one, I think, for you, Won-Beom, unless you want to explain the the clean room implementation.
예. 필이 이제 마지막으로 저희가 어째서 그 아르고를 어쩌면 클린룸 임플리멘테이션, 즉 이제 바닥부터 이제 새로 만들었는지에 대해서 이제 어떤 설명을 했는데요. 이건 어쩌면 엔지니어인 이제 박헌영 CTO가 더 잘 설명을 할 수도 있겠지만은, 근데 이제 좀 간략하게 다음 질문을 넘어가기 위해서 정리를 하자면은, 뭐 소프트웨어를 만드는 방식이 여러 가지가 있어요. 뭐 바퀴를 재발명하지 말라라는 말도 있고, 근데 그 때로는 이제 바퀴를 다시 만들어야 될 필요도 있거든요. 왜냐면은 특히 블록체인처럼 좀 혁신적이고, 그리고 이제 어쩌면은 새로 세상에 나온 지 얼마 안 된 교수 같은 경우에는 이제 굉장히 많은 시도들이 있기 마련이고, 어쩌면은 현재 만들어진 기술들 중에서 특히 이제 기술의 성숙도나 아니면 이제 특히 이제 보안이나 안정성 면에서 이게 굉장히 불만족스러움을 느끼는 개발자들도 많이 있어요. 근데 이제 어쩌면은 그런 기술력이 있냐 없냐에 따른 차이가 좀 클 것 같은데, 이제 블록코 같은 경우는 사실 코인 스택을 이제 개발하고 또 공급을 하면서 어쩌면 그 노하우도 쌓기도 했지만은 동시에 이제 몇 년 동안 거기에 대한 요구 사항들, 어쩌면 이제 진짜 제대로 된 블록체인이 어떻게 이제 만들어져야 되나, 그런 기대치를 좀 많이 쌓았는데, 아르고는 이제 어쩌면은 그 실제 시장 그리고 이제 개발자들이 그러한 이제 기대치가 충분히 반영된 어쩌면은 진짜 세수를 세 부대에 담은 이제 굉장히 혁신적인 구현이라고 보시면 될 것 같습니다.
I'm seeing on the live stream some comments about it would be good to do the AMA in a different time zone to address the US market, and also to have a separate Korean and English one. We hear you. This is the first one we're doing to give us obviously the chance to try this out. We will probably do parallel AMAs in the future in different time zones for North America and Europe, and then Europe to Asia. So this is the first one, but we will definitely split these into multilingual live AMAs. Now there's a couple of questions that were sent to us before the call, which I think you're very well placed to answer, Won-Beom. And it's a general number of questions about how are you going to migrate, or how will you migrate your existing Blocko enterprise clients to Aergo? Second is, how will we attract integrators to the ecosystem? And third is, how will we attract new customers to the platform?
So we're actually going to announce this next week, but to give you a quick preview, we are working on a product called Aergo Enterprise. It's the what is it, child of Han that he has been building on. So there are different needs to enterprise area and pure public space. And Aergo Enterprise is trying to further gap between those two spaces to build a truly hybrid model that can accommodate both the enterprise customers and the public blockchain users as well. Since Aergo Enterprise provides a built-in functionality for almost all of the blueprints and use cases that we've been providing with CoinStack, it'll be it's actually much easier for the existing customers to pick them up. At the same time, we are providing a upgrade program for existing users. So although Aergo itself is a clean room implementation from the data modeling and functionality perspective, it inherits much of the capabilities that you can see in existing CoinStack. So you can actually think of Aergo as an upgraded, a better version of the CoinStack. And Aergo Enterprise fills the gap completely.
Very good. Do you want to do the translation this time?
Yeah, I'll do it very short Korean translation. 네, 지금 질문은 이제 이제 아르고가 어떻게 엔터프라이즈 사이즈에서 이제 주로 사용될 수 있냐 뭐 이런 부분에 대한 이야기를 좀 했어요. 그래서 그렇죠, 네. 그리고 이제 어떻게 코인스택에서 아르고로 마이그레이션을 할 거냐 이런 계획들에 대한 질문이 있었는데, 먼저 저희가 기존에 가지고 있던 경험들이 있습니다. 그 경험들을 기반으로 아르고 엔터프라이즈라고 하는 이제 사이드체인과 프라이빗 체인 또 인터프라이즈 전용의 그 제품군들을 만들고 있어요. 당연히 소스 베이스는 동일하고 그걸 기반으로 엔터프라이즈에서 원하는 피처들을 더 추가한 기능들 제품군이 나오는 거죠. 그럼 이걸 통해서 고객이 쉽게 만들 수 이제 사이드체인을 구성할 수 있도록 이제 도와드리는 거고요. 그리고 이거 자체가 저희가 옛날부터 하던 코인스택이라는 제품의 업그레이드 버전이다 라고 생각하시면 좀 더 쉬울 것 같아요. 예를 들어 저희는 처음에 이 프로젝트를 할 때 아르고 엔터프라이즈를 한때는 코인스택 4.0이라고도 부른 적이 있었거든요, 처음에. 네, 그런 식으로 할 거고, 그다음 뿐만 아니라 기존 고객을 위해서 저희가 마이그레이션 프로그램을 이제 업그레이드 프로그램을 이제 운영하려고 합니다. 아까 말한 대로 컨트랙트 레벨에서는 이제 동일한 하위 호환성을 제공하기 때문에 쉽게 이제 마이그레이션 할 수 있을 거고요. 저희가 이제 그런 컨설팅, 그 다음에 이제 비즈니스 빌딩에 대한 노하우도 가지고 있기 때문에 블록코의 차원에서 그래서 그런 부분을 이제 진행할 수 있을 것으로 보입니다.
Thank you. I just want to address a question that popped up in the live chat because it's relevant to the what we're going. The question was that since we are building from ground up, does this mean that you guys are rolling your own cryptography? The answer is no. We're not inventing our own cryptography, which is sometimes very attractive to some people. But we're actually focusing more on the data storage and the engine area, where we created new data structures like state tree, Aergo SQL, that can actually change the way blockchain software works. But on the cryptography side, we are, because Aergo itself is open source, we are using open source implementations. Those are well tested and secure by design. Of course, we are planning to contribute to the wide range of the open source application. But at the moment, we are building on top of solid foundation, well tested, trusted code as for the cryptography.
Very good. And I'll add one thing to that, which is equally relevant because this is one of the questions. We have a lot of technology, a lot of know-how, and it's difficult to explain this to many people who are not familiar with blockchain. So you may have seen this week last week we announced our new website, refreshed website called Aergo.io, and you'll see a much cleaner, simpler description of what we do, what we're trying to do, both our technology, the target markets, how we want to work with developers. And we have this campaign, 419, with a lot of surprises, and as part of that, every day we will be releasing more information about what we do, how we do this. When I presented last week in Economy, I used the analogy, this is a blockchain built for serious projects. It's built for business, it's built for developers, it's built for ecosystem partners. It's built with customers, for customers, by developers, for developers. What the first point means, this has been incubated and tested. The techniques have been well tested for many years before blockchain was even developed. Many of the techniques that we're using have been tested in IT, but we're adding new techniques. And we've tested them through Blocko with real clients. And the developers are trying to mix the best of new technologies with standard technologies, so we give a very broad audience the ability to program on blockchain. Sometimes we get excited with new tech, and that's not what customers or developers want. What they want is good tech that's easy to use. This is why you'll always see us take a pragmatic approach. We're trying to always look ahead to the future and look behind to the past and combine things that are easy to use. That is not easy to do. So this is a key feature for us. One of the questions that came in, which again may be good for Han to answer, is we've elected to have a hybrid token model, ERC20 and a native token.
Yeah.
Why have we done this? What are the benefits? What does it really mean?
Yeah, it's very interesting question, and we have to explain it to the community and people. Yeah, so we will use we will support both of the ERC20 token status and the Aergo native tokens also, the both way, because we have already achieved the technology called the asset transfer, and we wanted to use by ourselves for ourselves the technology. It will be connected to Aergo main network will be connected to the Ethereum network, and the Aergo ERC20 token will be transferred to the Aergo main network very easily by our Merkle bridge technology.
Yeah, so in short, we have this native support for interchain connectivity with Ethereum and Aergo. We built in that functionality because we wanted to support the apps on Ethereum taking advantage of Aergo without fully migrating other existing assets and stuff. The basic foundation of the idea was raised by protocols and proposals like Plasma, based on Lightning Network and others. Aergo will be actually one of the first working implementation to support that at scale. So the reason that we are supporting ERC20 and Aergo native at the same time is because we have those functionalities built in our network anyway. So we are just taking advantage of it, and it's a cool way to showcase how it can work as well.
Yeah. It's very it's another side job, but one side story. But when we first write down our white paper, the Plasma white paper come out at the very same time. So we are very surprised to the. We are very it's very similar and want very similar goal. Yeah.
In order to support that, we created new data structures as well, like a state tree, which is an optimized version of for a high performance Merkle tree that enables the real-time verification of the Merkle proof in real time.
So quite a lot of technology. I think it's worth summarizing in a short paragraph the dual structure for our Korean audience as well, while we have dual token structure.
I'll explain. 저희가 그 듀얼 스테이터스를 이제 지원하는 것을 이제 목표로 하고 있습니다. 그렇게 가능했던 이유는 그러니까 하나는 ERC20, 그 다음에 하나는 아르고 네이티브 코인, 이렇게 두 상태가 존재할 수 있는 거죠. 이렇게 한 이유는 저희가 이미 그 기술을 어치브를 했습니다. 머클 브릿지라고 하는 기능을 이미 개발을 해서 현재는 아르고 투 아르고 부분에선 이미 저희가 테스트를 진행했고 이제 사이트에서 이제 검증하고 있는 단계에 있고요. 그 다음에 이제 올해 하반기쯤에는 아르고와 메인 네트워크가 실질적으로 머클 브릿지로 이제 연동이 될 것입니다. 그렇게 되면은 이제 아르고의 현재 아르고 ERC20 토큰으로만 있던 그 네이티브 토큰들이 이제 아르고 메인 네트워크로 넘어와서 DApp 개발을 위해서 사용될 거고요. 물론 이제 그 전에 DApp 개발을 원하는 저희 파트너나 참여자들을 위해서 저희 내부적으로 이제 원웨이 이제 스왑 버전을 통해서 이제 네이티브 토큰을 지원을 할 거고요. 이제 궁극적으로는 투웨이 버전을 제공을 함으로써 이제 자유롭게 이제 그 토큰이 왔다 갔다 할 수 있게 하는 거죠. 그렇게 되면 좋은 점이 거래소의 같은 경우에는 설사 이더리움 아르고 네트워크에서 이제 하드포크가 된다던가 메인넷이 런칭됐을 때도 이제 아르고 그것 때문에 이제 거래소에서 이제 별도 노드를 운영할 필요는 없는 거죠. 그냥 이더리움 노드에서 ERC20으로 거래를 하면 되는 거고, 리테일 인베스터들 같은 경우에, 그 다음에 DApp 개발자 같은 경우에는 이제 그 머클 브릿지를 통해서 이제 토큰을 전환한 다음에 DApp을 개발하는 형태로 그렇게 이제 진행할 수 있을 것으로 보입니다.
To add a short point to that, since we'll be able to take advantage of the ERC20 form, it means that the retail investors and everyday users to hold on to Aergo, they'll be able to use some existing ERC20 compliant tools as well, including the new Samsung Galaxy S10 hardware wallet.
That's very good. There are a number of questions related to any news about new customers, new partnerships, new deals. So we will not disclose them on the call today, but let me say a few words about what we are doing. Then I'll ask Won-Beom to explain some of the projects that Blocko is already engaged with without giving too much information away, because we will announce a lot of this next week when we do our mainnet launch. So what we are building with mainnet is a complex platform. The mainnet is the bridge to unlock the capability to use mixed hybrid models, hybrid blockchains, and a public anchoring technology to allow you to do creative things for product services in any industry. Every industry could use this. The tech is very, very complex. So we're delivering this in phases, very much like Linux. Enterprise platforms take time to stabilize, and we're doing this with customers very, very carefully. So what we ship will work. What we ship will be tested, and it will be tested, and it will be tested, and we'll do this gradual. This is a marathon, not a 4x100 relay. Many mainnets are out there that are built for consumer use cases where stability, performance, and maybe security are not number one. These are all number one for our platform. This has to really work at scale. So you'll see the mainnet launch in multiple phases. The announcement next week will show our incubation phase, where we will, in effect, do the genesis of mainnet. We already have customers using this technology, but we will launch this on mainnet. And we will share this information over a number of months. Again, online with our 419 campaign, we take every chance to explain what these are in our articles. So if you don't understand what I mean on this call, please go to Aergo.io and look at some of the new articles where we try to describe them. But Won-Beom, as much as you can share today, can you tell us what kind of customers are looking at this technology, what kind of industries?
Whereas it's actually really broad. I mean, Blocko has been in business for the last few years, where we have been, building from, ground up, and we have been working with the sales pipeline for years. So we work with dozens of clients who are still engaged with us. We have actually dozens of deals waiting to happen this year. And since Aergo is our new technology, you'll be able to hear some read about some exciting news as a stuff goes. The difficulty part is that most of those are under MOU and stuff. So we will share bit by bit as their progresses.
Very good, Won-Beom. So let me switch now to the live. There are quite a few other questions that we didn't have time to answer, but I've tried to pick the more maybe interesting ones for the audience. Let's switch to the live chat. So a very good one coming here is, does Aergo have an ecosystem fund, and how do we plan on helping and supporting DApps that want to build on our platform? Very good question. So the good news is we've thought about this. We have reserved significant amount of tokens and capabilities to allow DApps around the world to be created, incubated, tested, and explored. A number of DApps are being built next door by the Blocko team. We have some exciting DApps. You've heard of Captain Aergo. Another project is called Gatchu. There are others in the pipeline as well, but we are focusing on building a platform and a development environment that allows many people to experiment and build DApps. And we will support that not only with technology, SDKs, deployment blueprints, but also funding as well. So we have reserved significant amount of tokens for not only the staking mechanism for block producers and partners, but also teams anywhere in the world. In the next few weeks and months, again, online, you'll see a number of programs that we will be launching here in Korea and in Europe and in China, and over time, other regions to expand the surface area of DApps that can be created on Aergo.
I'd like to actually add one detail. With that, Blocko has been, since its conception, in relationship with their affiliation program called Spark Labs in Korea. It's a prominent program in Korea. It has helped dozens of startups to grow. Now, Aergo is in a strategic relationship with the Spark as well, which was brought in by Blocko. And it's actually easier to throw money around and hope to bring people in. But it's just another story to connect those to actual venture capitals and help them grow and scale. So we are putting a lot of effort using our partners to make this happen on our platform. And those kind of strategic relationship is going to actually make Aergo stand out of the crowd next year, I think.
No, very good. And one of the similar questions come in from Kevin Wee,
Yeah.
and it's a question around, we've got great coverage in Korea through Blocko's relationships, but what are we doing to expand internationally? So let me say a few words about that as well. So we have already built a team for Blocko in Europe, based in London, but we also have people in Germany, Toronto, Canada, and even in Brazil. So our plan is in those regions is to work with clients who need to understand the technology capability through either proof of concepts or by using deployment blueprints. We want to package things up in a way that makes it very easy for people to download and test and build the code. To build an enterprise blockchain architecture will take a good team of developers, probably 2 to 3 months in any company. We think with Aergo and our deployment blueprints, you can do this within a few weeks. That is a significant productivity gain. We have clients already. We haven't announced them. One client that has been working with this technology already is Credit Suisse, a bank in Switzerland, has been using some of the core technology for a while, and we have others in the pipeline. Again, we don't disclose customer names until we're able to showcase what we've developed, but also we're conscious about confidentiality.
We did a proof of concept with the Credit Suisse last year, and now we are working on a follow-up project.
That's right. So we will announce names of some customers next week, and we always will be very careful about releasing information too early. Everyone wants to hear about what we're doing, but we have to obviously honor confidentiality agreements and only talk when we're ready to talk and when the client is happy for us to share this information. Let's pick up another question. One was around token supply. So there's a current circulating supply of 93 million tokens. Does the team have a plan on leasing ERC20 tokens against native tokens for utility purposes? Okay, so do you understand that question? So can you lease rather than buy tokens?
I think it's a question about the ERC20 and the native tokens. So Han mentioned the one-way swap, the main, the ERC to main. I think Pravin Kumar is talking about a possibility of leasing tokens on the main. I think it's a fascinating idea. It's not something that we have been actively looking into yet, but I think that there's a possibility of implementing that.
Very good. I'm just trying to pick up some questions here. We will not answer questions related to financials or speculation. This is not the purpose of this call. One question is Samsung using this technology? What's the plan? Well, Blocko has a very, very long relationship with Samsung in many, many areas. You can assume nearly every Blocko client is already in discussions with us about looking at the utility of this new architecture to see what are the use cases where they can move from predominantly private chains to hybrid chains. Many clients don't yet understand the hybrid model. Some do and have been waiting for this technology here. So we are working with the ones who have been waiting on real projects, and we're going out to educate the existing customers who don't understand what a hybrid blockchain. But we don't comment on our relationship with Samsung or any other client for that matter as well.
Other than Samsung is one of our main investors
in Blocko.
We did a MOU with the Samsung SDS.
Now, a good question for Han here. When is the dev drop starting? Since the Hera SDKs have been released already for Java, JS, and Python, I think it's time to put the blockchain to test with real dApps.
We already talked about this, right? So we have some plan about the future dev drop and developer bounties. So the SDKs are already rebuilt a long time ago. So we will release the good plan in the another AMA or the Medium article. So James, you can wait some more time.
And the airdrops, we use different types of airdrops. We are very focused. Our first airdrops were for building the community, and we're very thankful for having a great community both on Telegram, Kakao, and in WeChat as well, which we are growing. Increasingly, you'll see airdrops targeted for different stakeholders. So as we release more and more technology, we're sharing a lot of our code on GitHub. We're getting good reviews from the community developers that our code is clean, well written, and documented. We will probably do very soon a targeted airdrop for developers. We are looking for developers both young developers who don't have much experience on blockchain, developers who are developing on other platforms, whether that's in Solidity, on Ethereum, or other platforms like EOS. But also we're looking to bring in enterprise developers who are looking at the hybrid nature of the architecture, where you can mix hybrid cloud with a hybrid blockchain platform to build very, very interesting and exciting technology. So we're looking for a whole range of developers. These dev drops will be announced soon. Again, look online, and they'll be regionally focused. They will not just be focused on Korea. We'll look at areas where we have strong coverage, and we'll be doing that through a series of not only announcements, but we'll be doing a number of road shows to educate the market on what is possible with this as well.
Okay. So I'll translate in Korean.
Yeah.
한국 분들 위해서 잠깐만 좀 서머라이즈를 좀 해드리면, 일단 저희는 이제 많은 고객들을 이미 아르고를 기반으로 해서 사용하려고 하는 고객들을 이미 많이 확보하고 있고요. 물론 그 정보를 여기서 다 말씀드릴 수는 없어요. 사실 뭐 여러 가지 이유가 있죠. NDA도 있고, 영업적인 부분도 있고 해서 이 자리에서 말씀드릴 수는 없지만, 현재 이미 딜리버리가 되고 있다. 그런 식으로 이제 이해를 하시는 게 가장 좋을 것 같고요. 그리고 앞으로 이제 저희가 디벨로퍼 프로그램 같은 걸 통해서 많은 이제 그 개발 커뮤니티 분들을 이제 참여를 시키려고 하고 있습니다. 거기에 해당하는 에코시스템 펀드나 뭐 디벨로퍼 펀드 같은 것들이 이제 마련되고 있는 중이고요. 그래서 그거는 이제 추후에 AM이나 또는 이제 저희 그 아티클들을 통해서 곧 이제 전달을 해드리도록 하겠습니다. 저희가 이제 사실 이제 프로젝트 시작하는 기간이 그렇게 길진 않아요. 사실은 거의 바닥부터 개발을 하고, 바닥부터 이제 프로그램이 시작되면서부터 이제 한 1년 정도도 아직 안 됐기 때문에, 그래서, 이제 좀 더 이제 많은 계획들이 올해 준비되고 있다. 이제 그렇게 생각하시면 될 것 같습니다.
Two very good questions coming in sequence. One is, who do we compete against? Who are the competitors to in terms of blockchain? That's a very good question, and I gave an answer on stage, which I'll try to repeat here. A year ago, there was almost a philosophical debate, a religious debate around you can only use private chains for secure, high-performance, well-controlled governance. But that's no different than having a database. Then there's another camp saying that everything needs to be on a public chain. Everything needs to be distributed because you get scale, you have more trust. And what I described last week was, this is not how business works. This is not how systems work. We live in a very heterogeneous world, both in people and technology. And IT has always been hybrid, and for the next few years, at least the next 10 years, it will be hybrid. You need the best of both worlds. So we are not competing with one blockchain or another. We're actually looking to showcase what is possible by combining the best of the different blockchain architectures. So this is truly one of the first hybrid blockchains that's built for business. And we really strongly believe this. We spend a lot of time with the team building this, understanding this, and testing this, and time will show whether that's true. Follow-up question to this was, are we only looking to hire block producers who are telcos? So I've recently explained that we intend to bring in enterprise-grade partners into our architecture, but that's not 100% true. What we need is a good mix of block producers who are high-performance, stable, professional, secure, who want to engage with our community longer term. But also remember, with our architecture, we provide not only the architecture and the security and, of the blockchain, we provide the ability for clients to run hybrid infrastructures where they may decide to run a private chain on their own ecosystem or with a cloud provider. If you're a very large company and you want to deploy a very large system to run, for example, your ERP system or your banking system, it's likely you may use a third party to run your core IT infrastructure. We think telcos, ISPs, and host providers are excellent partners for that because they have the high performance, they understand cloud computing, they're local, and they understand around data privacy. So you'll see that our block producer model emerges over time with what you would consider typical block producer providers first, starting with Blocko, who will be our initial and our primary block producer to begin with, whilst we incubate the network. And over time, we'll bring other partners to the ecosystem that will include telcos as well as ISPs. Yeah. Want to add anything to that, or that's clear?
It's clear, but okay.
So, another question that came in was, by supporting a dual token structure, do we have an increased surface attack area?
Yeah. That is very important question. That we need to secure the network and keep the total supply of tokens very strictly. So we are using not just using transfer from ERC20 to Aergo network to ERC20 tokens. It's very easy, but we don't do that kind of thing. We are using very strict rules using the Merkle bridge to prove the entire state of the tree by the mathematical verification. So there will be no attack like some ruin the entire network. If the Ethereum network will crash, then it will be a problem. But yeah, we don't think about the kind of things. Yeah.
We feel fairly comfortable that our approach is pretty secure, not just because we think we have great engineers, for example, here. We've been developing through Blocko real production systems for quite a few years. We understand the risks that businesses face, whether they're external threats, DNS, denial of service attacks or other attacks. We've built the capability in the system to protect customers around that. So it's very important that when you look at Aergo, it's not just technology. What's built into this, we call this deployment blueprints, but that's a fancy word for the know-how, the experience, the skills of integrating systems with existing IT systems, whether it's SAP or Oracle for an ERP system, or whether it's DB2 or SQL or MySQL for a database. We have a lot of that skill set tested already here that we're building into the architecture. So we think we'll be pretty secure. Now, no system is foolproof, but we think we will be one of the highest secure architectures that's built for business. Do you want to add anything to that one? Because you've done quite a few projects, even with government level projects.
I think I'd like to actually address my question. To all the current customers with Blocko will be migrated with Aergo.
Okay.
It's an important question. And the clear answer is yes. Not because we are just crazy about Aergo, but because we are sick of maintaining code. I mean, if any one of you haven't been to the IT business, they're tired of maintaining code 3 years, 4 years. It's a time-consuming and painful as well. And since Aergo is much more powerful and cleaner and stable than one of our oldest code, we are planning to do a migration. It's not to just Aergo stakeholders' interest. It's for their customers and Blocko's interest as well.
I'd like to pick up a question, which is an interesting question, and it should be you answering this, but I will answer this because I think it's a cool question. Why is Blocko so strong in South Korea? Very simple. Because they have probably the best engineering team in the world working on blockchain for the last 5 years. I can say this because 20 years ago I worked with one of the coolest Linux teams in the world, which was Red Hat. I know when I see a strong development team, and I measure this by quality of the technology as measured by customers. I visited many Blocko customers in the last year, and not one customer has complained about the quality of what the team has delivered, which shows me that they know how to build great code. This is why we decided Aergo should be based, from a Genesis perspective, out of Korea. This is where we build the technology, but now we're expanding the team. So I'm very proud of what the team has done in Blocko, and I think it's probably one of the best teams in the world for blockchain. And you can challenge us. You can challenge us by bringing us projects that you try to do that others fail to deliver, whether that company starts with an I and ends in an M. We're very happy to look at those projects. We think we have the capability of doing things that others have failed to do with our hybrid blockchain. So that's my view. Won, do you want to add anything to that?
방금 이제 굳이 한국에서 개발을 하냐? 어쩌면은 저희가 개발 가지고 있는 장점이 뭐냐?
한국에서 왜 강하냐? What's so strong?
네, 뭐 여러 가지 이야기 하셨는데요. 뭐 개발 관점 그리고 이제 사업적인 관점이 있을 텐데. 블로코가 어쩌면은 한국에서 좀 생각보다 오래된 회사예요. 2013년 말부터 이제 창업을 해가지고 지금 이제 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 보니까 뭐 거의 5년, 6년 좀 오래된 회사죠. 그동안 이제 어쩌면은 좀 많은 고객들을 상대해왔고 이게 다 하루아침에 일어난 게 아니라 어쩌면 긴 시간 동안 어떤 엔터프라이즈 블록체인이라는 테마를 가지고 이제 고객들을 상대를 하면서 저희가 어쩌면은 만들어 온 그런 에코시스템, 파이프라인, 파트너십 이런 것들이 전부 통합된 것을 보시면 될 것 같고요. 그리고 그러면서 어쩌면은 또 저희는 뭐 자랑스럽게 이야기할 수 있겠지만은 한국에서 어쩌면은 가장 유능한 엔지니어들, 개발자들, 연구원들을 이제 모았다고 자부를 하고 있습니다. 여기에는 이제 박헌영 그 CTO님만 하더라도, 그다음에 이제 그 데이터베이스, 그 분산 시스템 프로그램에서 이제 권위자이시고, 그다음에 이제 그 블로코, 아르고 개발을 하고 있는 블로코 개발자들이, 저는 이제 그 서슴없이 이야기해요. 전부 다 개개별이 다른 회사랑 CTO를 하실 수 있는 분들이다.
Another good question coming in, and there's quite a few quick questions coming in, which were for Han, which we'll try and answer quickly. We'll make the questions, the answers shorter, so we can get through as much as possible. One good question that came in earlier was, do we plan to scale by partnering to get scale outside of Korea? And this is a very good question, and the answer is absolutely. Partners are critical to everything we do in Aergo. And I'll use again the analogy with Linux and Red Hat. When we launched Red Hat 20 years ago, Enterprise Linux, we've realized that we needed many partners who are talking to customers about their IT needs. Many customers don't buy directly from IBM, Microsoft, Dell, Cisco. The large customers do, but the majority buy through partners. You can call them system integrators or solution partners. We recognize the importance of attracting good quality solution partners, and this is why when we launch our mainnet, you'll see increasingly online, everything we do will be simplified into programs to help educate not only the customers and the developers, but also to educate partners as well. We want to make this very simple to understand so we can attract many, many more partners. You could almost think about, in the future, Aergo may have blockchain in a box, literally a platform, with the tools, SDKs, and code that you can use very quickly to get up and running. And for a partner, there'll be use cases built on Aergo, like identity management, or PKI, or document sharing, where a lot of this would typically take you months to build. It will be freely available for partners and customers to use. So partners are critical to the success of us scaling the business. Now, there are quite a few technical questions, and I'll forward them to you, Han. Some of them were related to performance. What kind of transactions do we expect per second? Stability, how many block producers? You might want to cover as many of those as you can.
We will talk about the main network. Maybe we will reveal it next week, but slightly, the little information is we are using the Byzantine fault tolerance DPoS, and we will use the 23 block producers. And we are testing the significant stress test on the network. So you can see that our test network or the previous pre-test net, the transaction per second will be very high. It's much higher than any other project. You can see in the any other kind of scan things. In our testnet we achieved 20,000 TPS, and in the mainnet we are focusing on the making the 10,000 or 13,000 TPS in very stable performance. We are focusing on the quality of service and the performance for the real enterprise business. So and even if you make the sidechain by our software, and you can use the different consensus algorithm for the leader-based POA, we made it for the enterprise customers, and it will achieve more than transactions per second than our BFT DPoS, because it is using the entire second for the making the transaction and executing transactions. So in the sidechain of the business situation, you can achieve more good performance. Yeah,
that's a good one. I'll just add to that as well. This is one of the things I like when I looked at the Blocko team. When I looked at their customer deployments, they're using enterprise-grade algorithms like Raft. These are architectures built for scaling horizontally across a network. Most customers get throughput in enterprise by scaling horizontally on compute architectures, and we have that know-how for 4 years here in Blocko. And now we're adding the crypto side for the public chain. So I think you'll be quite impressed. And again, lots of this information will be explained in minute detail in the in the announcement we will do next week. And we'll follow this up with a lot of technical information online. I would ask you, if you're interested in understanding our technology, watch our website, look at Discourse, look at Reddit. We're sharing a lot more. We have lots to share. You'll see we are very, very rich with technology, and our challenge is to release this in time and make it easy to understand. But we have a whole roadmap of capabilities that are coming out, and part of this is next week. Want to add anything to that one?
I think we could spend the last minutes showing the team.
Yeah.
Let's invite
So we're trying to grab some of the engineers here who are very busy working on mainnet, but let's hopefully grab a few here. Whilst one's doing that, just one note about the launch next week and what we're going to really focus on. As I said, we have a lot of great technology here, and it's complex, so we'll use the launch next week to explain what is mainnet, who is it targeted, how is it built, how does it work, and how can we claim 10 to 20,000 stable transactions per second purely on the mainnet, but many more thousands when we combine the sidechain technology. We need to explain that. This is what we will do in the next few weeks. We have a cool wallet called Aergo Connect. We have a cool scanner, Aergo Scan, and many other utilities coming out. So keep looking online where we release code. You'll be quite excited to see some of the things we've been developing here with the team.
I'll translate in Korean. 예, 한글로 좀 말씀을 좀 드릴게요. 예, 뭐 저희 이제 메인 네트워크가 이제 다음 주에 릴리즈가 되고 다음 주에 저희가 런칭 행사를 할 겁니다. 그때 저희의 주된 고객이나 성능, 기능에 대한 이야기를 드리고요. 저기 뒤에 있는 저 고양이는 네, 저희 회사의 마스코트와 같은 존재고요. 네, 네. This cat is the mascot of our project. Yeah. 네, 그 다음 주에 저희 행사가 있을 때 저희가 자세한 정보들은 이제 추가적으로 말씀드리도록 하겠습니다. This is our the R&D engineering team. We can show your.
So this is the core team that's working on the mainnet release. Many different groups. They just come say hello, but don't stop working, please, guys. Yeah, keep working on mainnet. Okay, does anyone say about the team? Anything about backgrounds, where they come from, how long they've worked together?
Well, we have an excellent team together, and let's hope for the best.
Yeah, no, very good. So guys, thanks very much. Keep up the good work. Yeah, cheers.
Bye, guys.
So we need to wrap up in a few minutes because we're running out. We said we'd keep this to 1 hour.
Yeah.
So there are many other questions that we don't unfortunately have time to answer. One question came in: did we miss something, or did we list our token on updates? Did we list on update?
I have no idea.
What is?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's true. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. But in all seriousness, we have a plan to make the Aergo token as available as possible to as many stakeholders who could benefit from this. A key part of that is to make sure that token purchasers can act as a technology if they want to try mainnet and try the architecture. So you will see more news around partnerships, which includes exchanges as well. So we have a really great plan, a great execution team. Pretty much everything that you've seen so far has been planned for the project. We often don't share too much information publicly. We'd rather release information when it's clean and it's ready to be launched. So I would recommend you keep looking online on Aergo.io to understand more about our technology and our roadmap. Look at GitHub for code, download code, look at the documentation. Take part in the new series of road shows we will be running starting later this month around the world. We'll be doing a lot of online programs to make it easy for anybody, anywhere, to access the technology here. And we'll, of course, we'll be speaking to customers more and more in the future. So we will be very busy, more airdrops, more announcements. We will go a bit quiet for the next week until we finish mainnet and launch this. Those questions we were not able to answer, we will try and probably answer them on Telegram and feed them into the Kakao channel as well for our Korean community and have some of them translated on WeChat as well. But with that, I'd like to thank Han.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank Won-Beom. Thank you. Officially shake your hand, Won-Beom, for the excellent effort your team's providing to us. I'm very happy with Blocko's support. And I did announce a few months ago we are looking at ways to integrate even further the capabilities of Blocko with Aergo. So on the 17th, we'll announce some exciting news about further cooperation between those companies. But as of now, this is the end of the first AMA. Thanks for listening and watching. Talk to all of you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Godspeed.
Godspeed.
Godspeed.